How many of you feel like you have a calling, or maybe that you're cultivating a calling? Maybe you're really, really clear that, there is something that you are here, that you are called to do. And it's okay if you haven't figured it all out yet. You don't know all the pieces to it. But if you're here and you're in this space, in this community with me, I'd say it's, pretty likely that you have a calling, that there's something that is on your heart to do. And it could be that it's something that you want to bring forth. It could be a product or a service or a message, right? That you are crafting, that is birthing out of you. And it could be something that's for other people, right? It's a calling to provide something for other people. Or it could be that your calling really isn't about other people at all. It's about you and your transformation and the work that you are doing personally, and really just being a demonstration for yourself, for your family, for your children, for your nieces, for your nephews, for your cousins, for your aunts and uncles, right? Being the one in your family who chooses differently, who creates differently, who steps into a different reality, right? Creating a legacy, right? Stepping into your own greatness and just being that demonstration. It could simply be that. So I want to hear from you. Inside of the comments, let me know, is this something that's resonating? Do you feel like, yes, I know that I have a calling. There's a bigger purpose that I'm here for. Do you have clarity about it? Or is it something that you're still cultivating? You really haven't, you're just stepping into it. And maybe there's more clarity than you've been honest with yourself about, but stepping into that feels a little bit scary, right? And here's what I want to say. Fear and excitement are part of stepping into that next level. They go hand in hand. And fear is, doubt, fear, it doesn't mean that you're not ready, that yet calling, that dream, that vision is not meant for you. It's simply an indicator of where you are now, right? That point of attraction where you're sitting. And in order to step into what's next, it's going to require you to step into new territory, to lead yourself, to make choices, to decide that you deserve to live the most epic, abundant, beautiful life because you do, right? And that's going to require you to stretch into new territory, to make new choices, to think differently, to perhaps articulate yourself differently, to put yourself out there in new ways. Yes? Is this resonating? Let me know. One of the things that I see happening and blocking a lot of women on their vision and what's possible for them and what's coming next is really this idea where women will come to me and they'll say, Alexandra, I have this big dream, right? I have this thing that I want to do in my business. I really want to create this. I want to be able to make this sort of impact, and I'm doing all the things, right? I'm out there, I'm doing all the things, and it's just not working. And then I'll, especially with my clients or the women who are in my mastermind, we'll start to look into it, and I'll start to dig into what are they actually doing, right? And maybe I'm looking at their social media, or I'm looking at the actions that they're taking in their business, or the type of sales calls that they're making, or, what are the things that would be specific in their business that would be advancing them forward. And a lot of times what I find is that they aren't actually doing the things, right? What's happening is that they're spending so much time and energy up in their head, in the anxiety of, oh my God, if I do that thing, what's so-and-so going to think? Or they're over here, looking at what somebody else is doing, and then they're taking score and counting the evidence about what they don't have and what the other person has achieved, and maybe they shouldn't do it anyways. Right? And so it can feel like they're doing all the things because they're up in this sort of anxious energy and that fear and in that doubt and the approval seeking, but it's not actually stepping in to take the action. Have you ever experienced this? Have you ever done that? I've done that, right? There's things that I've wanted to put out into the world, especially when I was first starting out with my own business, where I worried about it, right? I worried about what were people going to think, right? Well, what are people going to think if you talk about money? What are people going to think if you talk about abundance, right? Who does she think she is to do that, right? That's that small mind. That's our humanness. That's the fear. That's the doubt that can keep us limited. But the thing about our calling is that it's beyond our ego, right? It's beyond that smallness, because we all have that small human piece of us, right? And there's also, because we are, human beings, also connected to spirit, there's a duality, right? We're also unlimited. There's this, very physical, real piece to who we are, and then there's an unlimited piece to who we are. There's an unlimited aspect to us, where there truly are no limitations, where our potential is infinite, where we have access to the infinite. Does that resonate? Does that make sense? One of the things is that, our ego, our humanness would like to keep us small, wants to keep us safe, wants to keep us inside of the familiar, wants to keep us inside of the predictable, inside of the known. But like I said earlier, we actually have to choose who we are becoming, right? We have to choose what it is that we desire, right? We have to choose to lead ourselves into that new territory, into the unfamiliar, into the unknown, right? Into who we are becoming, if we want to go get that thing. And to me, that's sort of the energy of having a calling. To me, that's the energy of having a calling, because it's the difference of the energy of God asked me to do this, right? Versus maybe I should go do a thing. They're a different energy, right? Someone who is called is operating on in a different frequency, right? They are operating from this unwavering commitment and dedication to expressing themselves fully, to leaning into their desires, to birthing whatever their vision is, to being and to becoming who they are meant to be, right? As a demonstration to others. So when I think about my own world and I think about my calling around being a money mentor, being somebody who speaks about abundance, who teaches about abundance in a very different way than lots of other people, right? I'm not here talking about financial spreadsheets, right? I'm talking about the energy of abundance. I'm talking about how to, grow and scale your business in a very different way. I'm operating from a deep knowing that this is a message that I'm meant to bring forth, right? And to me, it's not about, dressing a certain way or having a certain amount of money. Yes, that's important, because it's a demonstration, it's an energy, right? And so when I have enough money to go pay for the type of hotel that I want to pay for, to dress a certain way and go into a restaurant, right? I carry myself differently, right? When I am in a place of abundance and feeling wealthy inside, right? Feeling vibrant and prosperous, feeling full of knowingness, right? That I can do the things that I want to do. To me, that's wealth, right? And yes, it's numbers in the bank account, but it's also this energetic piece. And that in itself is a demonstration. That in itself is an energy that helps change the frequency, right? Provides an example, provides an empowerment, provides a different way for others to see that example for themselves, evidence of what's possible for themselves, right? And we've all known women and teachers and people who do that for us, right? There are people who who you've followed, who you've bought their books, maybe you've, watched them online on social media, maybe you've listened to their blogs or their YouTubes or their podcasts, right? And these are people who are on their path. They are walking their mission. They are in their calling, right? And it's an energy, and you've gained something from that, right? So this is the energy of a calling, and this will absolutely 100% supercharge your manifesting, because it's an elevated energy, right? It's not stuck in sort of the 3D reality of the old stories and the old, past identities or what's happening right now. It's an energy of who you're becoming, of that future vision, of being that demonstration, right? And it's a frequency and an energy that pulls people in to gather with you on that mission. It's, as I said, when I think about calling, what I wrote in my book here was, it's like God asked you to do a thing, right? And if God's not the word for you, substitute it. Universe, the divine, spirit, your highest self, your inner being, right? But like God asked you to do it, right? This higher energy that is not grounded in the limited asked you to do it, right? And tune into the frequency, because it's really different. God asked me to do this versus, oh, maybe I should go do a thing. Maybe I should do that, right? It's a very different energy. There's a potency to it. There's a commitment to it. There's an unwaveringness to it. There's a deep belief that you can walk through anything. You can overcome any challenge, that solutions are available, that you will be guided, that source is here to protect you, that opportunities will become available, that people will be attracted to you, that things will organize themselves in such a way that will make it possible. It doesn't mean it's not without challenges, that there won't be initiations, that there won't be struggles, because there always are. That is our human path that we get to walk through. But the energy of a calling, and why it supercharges your manifesting, is because it is a deep belief energy. It is a absolutely 100% I am available for this energy. It is a receptive energy. It is a allowing energy. It is an energy of letting in. Yes? Is this resonating? So following the energy of your calling is following your purpose, right? It's following your passion, following your commitment, diving into vibrancy, diving into joy, diving into all that is possible for you. So what I also find is that when we are in this space of following our calling, right, we can access something different. And one of the things that I talk about a lot inside of my Money Mastery is this, that there's sort of the small mind that gets stuck in the how are things going to work? Well, how am I going to make that money? What should I charge for that? How am I going to, who's going to come? How will I promote this? What's the marketing? All of that kind of stuff, right? And then there's the elevated mind, the unified mind, the ability to tap into and access wisdom that becomes available to us when we're in this place of unwavering commitment, when we're leaning into our desires, when we're following our calling. And that's the supercharging of manifesting, because we can access something different. We can access the unified field where all substance is one, where all things are created and connected, right? Where every question has the matching solution to it inside of that energy. And this is the energy where, inside of my Money Mastery, I say, source is my supply, right? Where spirit becomes my strategist, where we can tap into the divine ideas, where we become available and we make space for things that we cannot necessarily map or plan to come into creation.